Hey guys, welcome back to Live with RealiTEA on the Russell Hantz Show with Trisha and Kiley, where we have all of the latest live feeds updates from last night on Big Brother after that HOH comp ended. Some crazy things were happening, so if you're here for the spoilers, you're in the right place. But if you're wanting to stay spoiler free this season, then catch us later in the week after everything has aired on Sunday. So for those of you that are still here for all of the latest tea, be sure you're hitting us with the comments as we go through the episode and as we're chatting about all of the latest tea. For those of you who are not watching live and catching us later, then drop us a comment, hit us with a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button as we are bringing you the latest content, everything going on in the Big Brother house, and are interested to what your thoughts are on everything happening. So, Kylie, we did get a live episode last night, and our girl Nicole A went home.
Yes, exactly as we expected it to. She was voted out with just getting 2 votes to keep her, which was a little bit interesting because we didn't know if we would see the people that had been campaigning for her stick it out and go ahead and vote to keep her. But we see Kevin, who says that he's staying true, ride or die till the wheels fall off. And then we interestingly get the vote from Enzo. So is this the hinky vote that we're always wanting, or is Enzo like, I give 0 Fs, I'm just going to vote for somebody?
So, we got Enzo and Kevin that voted against David instead. And I
Yeah.
think they're trying to frame Janelle and Kaser.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're trying to make it look like Janelle or Kaser didn't come on board with keeping David. Kevin admitted that he was one of the votes for her, so that's not a surprise. But obviously, Enzo voting to keep Nicole is to try to pin it on Janelle or Kaser. Like, homeboy, they don't need any bigger targets. Everybody's already coming after them. So this is one of those circumstances where the hinky vote just doesn't really matter because you can't make them any bigger of a target than they already are.
Right. Another weird thing we got from last night's episode was Busy Phillips is in the Big Brother house.
Wow, I didn't know that. So we get this shady ass comment from Julie Chen Moonves shouting out Danny for her birthday and saying, "You looked so beautiful last week. Not this week, but last week.
Not
You look
today.
like that actress Busy Phillips," which is kind of random, but yeah, I can kind of see that. Just the way that she shouted it out was so weird.
Yeah, it was very weird. I'm like conspiracy theory, Julie, what hidden message are you trying to give us? Like last week, Busy Phillips, like there couldn't have been more random words used.
Yeah, Julie says some weird things pretty much every season, but this is up there as one of the weirdest. Just the way that she said it, such an odd comparison. But we even see Busy Phillips after the show. I guess people were adding her, and she retweeted it and was like, "This is so weird." And so everybody's in agreement that this was just a really odd comment from Julie.
Danny
But
seemed happy about it. I mean, anytime you get
yeah,
called beautiful by Julie Chen Moonves is
yeah.
so sweet, but just very odd, Julie.
Yeah,
Very odd.
but I mean, I do see the similarities. So she wasn't wrong. It's just strange.
Yeah. So later, after we see our girl Nicole A get voted out as predicted, she gets to sit with Julie. And how do you feel like her chat with Julie went?
That it was also just really funny. So Julie comes at her and lets her know that she was screwing herself. So Julie told her everything that America's thinking. And she kind of dug the knife in like, girl, you screwed up so badly because Janelle and Kaser were working so hard for you. And she even threw in there, Janelle cried about you. And
She
as
starts this whole thing off with Nicole. I'm a little confused by your gameplay. As we all are, Julie. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that is one thing that I love about Julie is that I think she is a true fan of Big Brother. And so she's like, what are you doing? And she's saying what the Big Brother fandom are all thinking. But she really digs it in. And as bad as Nicole A played, we know that she's a really good, really sweet person. And so I felt a little bad for her because she needed a hug. And I know that we have to social distance, and I'm pretty certain Julie backed the chair up like last week whenever Keisha was evicted. Wasn't it 6 feet? But Nicole A had to be 10 feet. Like next week, we're going to just do it from different lots, okay? Um, but
Gonna
she
back
needed a
further and
hug.
further.
Yeah, she needed a hug for real because she is just distraught when she's finding out that Nicole and Kaser were being true to her.
Yeah, and Julie's like, I would give you a hug, but sorry,
Yeah,
coronavirus.
but sorry, CDC guidelines.
Sorry.
But the only thing that was missing, we talked about it yesterday, is Julie did. She needed to have had Nicole close so that she could have just whacked her upside the head because that's what she was feeling, just like she
Yeah.
did Marcellus.
But I will say that as stupid as Nicole looked in the house, and after Julie explained everything to her, and Nicole A did say, you know, she started getting these inklings like after the damage was done, pretty much like people started telling her the truth.
Yeah.
And I did like how she apologized. Like she
Yeah.
owned it. She owned that she pretty much royally screwed herself,
Yeah.
and I was really proud of her for owning that and taking control of, and not just playing the victim. She straight up, knew she did bad.
Yeah. So much respect to Nicole A. She's a sweet little girl. So, um,
Yeah. So
it sucks.
after we see Nicole go, we move into the HOH comp, which I thought was a pretty fun comp. The beer sliding down the counter,
Yeah.
kind of in a shuffleboard type manner. It reminded me of, we didn't get the Olympics this year like we were supposed to, and it reminded me of what are those?
Curling.
Yeah, curling, and they're like,
Yeah. They're shaving the
yeah,
ice, which
yeah,
that's the Winter Olympics, but
yeah. But whatever, I'm like still in Olympics mode. Um, so
yeah.
whatever, I'll take what I can get. So anyways, that's what it reminded me of. But I thought this was a fun comp. We talked about it being a crapshoot yesterday. They did get to practice in the house yesterday. And what do you think about the comp?
Well, I mean, we're both wearing black in mourning for the results of the HOH competition because it was really tragic. So, did you think that they say, okay, your order has been selected by random draw? Yes, full on mourning for the results of this. But your order has been selected by random draw. Do you think that this was actually the random draw that came up? Because we do get Janelle and Kaser going last, which is fantastic because this is what we need. We need them to have the best opportunity to stay in the house. And
Yeah, I mean, random schmandom. If it was random, great job, universe.
yes, like
If it
this is
wasn't random, great job, CBS.
yeah, if this was random, then this needs to be a newsflash for the CBS producers. Like, what are y'all doing? We need these two people to stay in the house. This is the universe talking to you because we
They
need
knew.
them to
They
have all
know.
the advantage that they can
They
have.
have to know. The whole Twitterverse was blowing up last night with, um, Janelle and Kaser have to stay. Da 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 da. Everyone wanted them to stay. Anybody that didn't, anybody that wasn't cheering for them, I didn't even see that going on Twitter.
Right.
So,
No, Twitter was in an uproar. But before we get to the results of the HOH comp, what did you think about David's performance?
um,
Where he forgot to
he
buzz
doesn't.
in?
He not only, yeah, like, does he even know where he is?
No.
Like,
The
they
boy is
got okay, y'all.
clueless.
They got to practice this HOH comp. They got to practice it before we saw it on the show. Okay, so they practiced it yesterday during the day. Um, David must not have practiced ringing the buzzer, which is literally how the entire segment of your
Time is locked in.
yes. He, I mean, look, on our draft, David is on my team. I chose David because I had a lot of faith in him at the beginning of us doing these episodes and talking about the show. I was like, David has the most fire. Like, he came from the last season, he played the least, so he should be fired up. And then homie is going through, doesn't even know what a veto is. He doesn't know how noms work. He's campaigning like he's in Camp Comeback. He doesn't ring the buzzer. Like, bruh,
Yeah. And I mean, it ultimately didn't matter because his score wasn't better than I think it was Ian at the time. But still, like, what are you doing? Ring the buzzer.
ring the buzzer.
And then also, Christmas and Nicole had a interesting strategy where they ran and put their beer on the barrels before. And obviously, this is something that they talked about before. So I wonder if anybody picked up on that idea of, okay, these two must be working together because this was a strategy that they've talked out. And it was a terrible strategy because why would you spend extra time going to a place that you're going to have to go back to? But they do. They run, they put their beer
Were
glasses
they
down,
throwing it?
or they could have been throwing it. I mean, I don't know because Nicole Franzel's ass is on the line if Janelle or Kaser would have won. So I can't see Janelle. I mean, I can't see Nicole throwing it. She
Yeah.
she needed to win. Do you?
Christmas could have been throwing it and then
Yeah.
giving it to, and then Nicole being like, "Oh, that's a good idea. Let me do that."
Yeah. Showing her intelligence again. So,
Right.
um,
Incinerator.
uh, we do get Tyler. Okay, no, first first Ian
The
dethrones Cody.
cutest little
Jig.
dance ever. Like, Ian was so happy when he won, and we were so happy for him because we didn't
Yeah,
think
like
he would have.
okay, this is an okay outcome. Like if Janelle or Kaser can't win,
He's
Ian
third.
is a good third alternative. So I was happy. Okay, Cody's out, Ian's in. He does his little jig, so cute. And then Tyler comes up and crushes it.
And pisses us all off.
Yes,
I
this is
turned my TV
terrible.
off right then. I
Yeah,
turned it off.
this
I
was
was pissed.
I mean, y'all, I know it's a TV show, but I was so upset. Okay, when he threw his 12, and my husband is over here because he's got Tyler on his draft team, and he's like, "Yes, Tyler's on my team." I'm like, "Shut the hell up. I don't care who's on your draft team. Like, we are not worried about winning any money. We are just trying to get a Janelle and Kaser HOH. I don't care about your team." So, yeah, really upsetting because Tyler killed it. Do you think Tyler needed to win this HOH?
No, his ass didn't need to win. He wasn't going to go on the block. He
Right.
he he has been flying under the radar, and I
Right.
don't know. I mean, I'm not just saying this because I wanted Janelle or Kaser to win. And Janelle would have won if Tyler didn't. But I'm saying this because truly, from a long term game perspective, Tyler, and I mean, now has somewhat of a target on his back because he's a comp win.
Right. I mean, maybe the only positive that can come out of this is I do think Tyler has a really super good mind for the game. And I like Tyler, don't get me wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
just like Janelle and Kaser more.
Right.
But I think Tyler does have a good enough mind for the game and enough respect for the game that maybe somehow Janelle can reason with him. I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather Tyler over Cody. So, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, we'll take it. But anyways, so Tyler wins the comp, and after this happens, the Twitterverse is in an uproar. There is some major controversy, which as Jaysar fans, we can get on side with, but there is major controversy going
Let me
on
just hop on to change.org and start my petition.
because everyone was like, Tyler cheated because he buzzed in before his beer cup was done moving. So it was like on the 2 whenever he buzzed in and it slid into the 5 or whatever. So Twitter was in a major uproar over this. Everyone saying he was cheating. Or there was even people saying his cup slid off and there was all these like phony videos out there. If you go back and watch it, you can see the whole thing
In slow
on the
mo.
CD.
There's a slow mo clip out there. And as much as we want them to have to replay this HOH and let Janelle be the HOH and not Tyler, this is a legitimate win. Like, come on,
Yeah.
people.
It's a legit win. I'll be the first to create a change.org if need be for our girl Queen J. But yeah, it's legitimate. Even though whenever Janelle went, we did see that she truly should have gotten a
Right.
W here because she was in the
Yeah.
5,
They
obviously.
they went back and looked at the clip. That beer mug that landed in the 4 should have been counted as a 5. So
Which
Janelle should
then
have tied with 12 points. Her time was faster, so Janelle should be HOH.
right. So, I mean, if you're going to do use the photographic evidence we are providing here, create your change.org, Janelle should win.
Yes.
The end.
Yeah,
And then
so
finally in the episode, the last thing we get to hear is Julie's sign off.
what is Julie Chin Moonves doing this year? Because her sign offs are getting weirder and weirder every year. Like, I don't think she can top her awkward comment about Danny and Busy Phillips. And then she gives her sign off of, remember, if you can, if you have to choose between being right or being kind, always choose being kind.
What the heck? So last year we got this is Julie Chin Moonves. We moved into adding Moonves to the end. All right.
Right.
That's it. And thanks for watching Big Brother. That's
Yeah.
it. This year, we are getting some shit about golden rule, about being kind. We get it, Julie. 2020 sucks. But your Pinterest motivational quotes are confusing the hell out of the Big Brother fandom. We're lost. What are you
Right.
doing?
There are just Jeff Probst has his quotes that he says after every episode, like when they're leaving tribal council. He doesn't mix it up. He doesn't start giving them any inspiration, nothing for them to take back to the beach to ponder on. But Julie is giving these odd ass send offs. And she just needs to go back to from outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Moonves, and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
We're not here for change, Julie. We just need something good and comforting in 2020.
Have you seen
Please
the
don't do this.
conspiracies on this where it's like, this is a jab at Ellen DeGeneres? And have you seen those?
No, but that's not surprising. We're here for a conspiracy.
Yeah, there's like all the there y'all, if you have time, go just there's a whole tunnel, a black hole of things you can get sucked into on the Julie Chen send-offs that they're like the jabs at people. Um,
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. So check that out. Hit us in the comments with what your thoughts are on it.
All right. So after that, we do finally get the live feeds come back, and we get just a short little snippet of the live feeds before they cut back to the adopt a puppy cam. And we get Nicole talking about how, I guess, while the feeds were down from the end of the episode, they had to name the new have nots. And Nicole Franzel must have taken her shot at, I say Nicole Franzel, we can just say Nicole now. She must have finally taken her shot at Janelle as she named her a have not, and Janelle pops off back at her and says, whiny, 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 which is really classic because that is an accurate description of this girl. She is whiny, whiny, whiny. And she's telling people, can you believe that she called me whiny, whiny, whiny as she's whining? Like, yes, we can believe this.
And she is like pissed. She's like, she has called me a bitch.
No, but she doesn't say it. She says she's called me a B word.
Oh yeah, she's called me a B word.
Yeah,
And
and so
the house is just like, how dare her?
gasp.
What? Not Janelle.
Yeah, no, she would not do that. Um, but Nicole does say that she's proud of herself because she stood up for herself and popped off back to Janelle. And we do not get this. We don't get to see this on the live feeds. And for some reason, we get this little snippet from the live feeds, and then they go back to offline for 2 hours. So, what are they doing for these 2 hours that the feeds are down?
So I think that conspiracy theory, Nicole F and Janelle are like at each other's throats, ready to. Okay, so
Rumble.
before this goes down too, Janelle is making comments about Nicole. Like they're just like, if she has such a problem with me, like she needs to say it, da 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 da, this whole thing, and then the feeds cut, and so I think that they like end up coming in the same room. They're going at each other, y'all. This is all theory. They end up going at each other, and yeah, and because of COVID, production can't come in like they normally would and break these two up. So they're like, they're giving them a talk. They're giving them a great stern talking to. That's my thought.
Yeah, but in reality, when the feeds come back, there's not been any big throwdown fight. There was some speculation that maybe they were going to go ahead and do the safety suite comp since they have to do that before nominations, but the safety suite is not played. So we don't really know why the feeds were down for those 2 hours. But this week, I definitely think things are going to heat up a little bit on the live feeds because Janelle is done, D-O-N-E, done with this girl. And we've got some really great clips showing the level of doneness that she's at.
Nicole Franzel all day. I try not to like take personal shots at her, but I can't stand her.
And this was before, obviously she's talking to Nicole Anthony. This was before she went home. So things have been just
Progressing.
we are about to hit a climax, and especially if Janelle's ass goes on the block, she's got nothing to lose. Like homegirl is going off.
Yes, and even though Janelle really still hasn't done anything, we also get Bailey, who we think is supposed to be pretty close with Janelle, talking with this other group of girls about how Janelle is just here for the followers and to build up her real estate business. Like, Janelle is the only person in here out of any of you other women that has a legitimate ass job. Y'all are all social media influencers, and Janelle has a real job. She does not need to come here for the social media followers to promote her business. Like, what good is it for me to, you know what? I like Janelle, so I'm going to follow her Minnesota real estate business when I live in Texas. It doesn't matter. So she is not there unless they are just putting this out there on all of the Minnesota channels with a commercial of Janelle as a real estate agent. Where is their thinking on this? The only people here for more followers are Bailey and Nicole Franzel, who that is their career. I mean, Nicole Franzel had a legitimate job before Big Brother. She was a nurse, and now she is a social media influencer.
Yeah, so they're all in this room. Literally, like Bailey, Danny, Nicole F is in there, and they're just talking shit about Janelle. And meanwhile, Janelle's in this other room, and again, she's like, they got a problem. They need to just come say it to me. Like, I don't know why they feel the need to go in another room, talk all this mess about me, and I think as stands of Janelle, this Janelle is like the Janelle we love.
Yeah.
She's always been this way.
Yeah. Just come at me, bro.
She's ready. I mean, I think especially after that HOH, she didn't win. She knows she's going to go on the block. Like, I mean, and she just has that doesn't give a shit attitude. And y'all, this week is going to be great.
Yes, it's going to be good no matter what.
So the feeds go down. As we said, the feeds go down. And then when they come back,
there's a new alliance. And guess what, guys? This one also has a number in its name. So original. So we see the formation of the 4 Prime, not Amazon Prime.
The formation. That's what my line would be.
The formation of the 4 Prime. And this is an alliance with Ian, Cody, Nicole, and Danny. So these Cody, Danny, Nicole, Tyler, like they all have all of these sub alliances. And I mean, I understand when people come to you, you're going to say yes, but Ian has gone to the dark side. We've lost him, guys. We were hoping that he was going to go with the good people and be Team Janelle and Team Kaser, but he has full on switched to the other side. He's joining their gossip and
He's Team Nicole F. Okay,
yeah,
he is standing with Nicole
a
F.
moment of silence for our dying standum of Ian. Okay.
Yeah.
So
No.
Ian,
Sorry to lose you, Ian. It was great knowing you. No
but
longer,
we
and I
can't.
can't remember if Ian's on my team too. But anyways, all in all, my draft team is just going to shit.
Yeah, I've got Janelle and Kaser, so let's not talk about it.
I had David and Nicole A. So
Oh
anyway,
no, this is so sad.
terrible.
We get a conversation with Kevin and Janelle where they really seem to be hashing out some of their stuff. And Kevin even comes to Janelle and says, in the spirit of being transparent with each other, I got to tell you that I'm pissed that you were campaigning for Keisha. And
Pissed.
Janelle, tries to smooth it over and tells him, well, we heard that you would put us up and, you were just kind of on a need to know basis at that point. But now I trust you. We're working together. And Kevin is kind of hyping her up. Like, let's go. Like, you're Queen J. This is what you do. You perform best under pressure. Like, if you and Kaser are on the block together, you've got my vote. Janelle reminds him it doesn't matter because he's not in the majority alliance. So his vote is pointless. They're going to keep whoever they want to keep. And so we're like, okay, well, Kevin is going to work with Janelle. Like, probably too little, too late. You should have gotten on board with this before, but at least it's something. And then Kevin, being the little bitch that he is, runs into the next room and spills all the tea to Danny and
Yeah.
tells her everything that they had just talked about.
Yeah. So
He's got a really interesting game strategy, which is to be the gossip.
yeah, if we were in the house as spilling the reality, we would be Kevin. Like he is just going around getting information and spilling it to everyone else.
Yeah, so
So
he tells everything to Danny, and then he has a conversation with Bailey and tells Bailey everything. So this relationship with Kevin and Janelle is failing before it gets off the ground.
Yeah, it's going.
Um, we do get a little bit of talk about the safety suite that will be happening today, and it is interesting to think about. Okay, we know Janelle and Kaser can't play, which sucks because they're lined up in the crosshairs of Tyler's HOA train. Yes, can we just hit a reset? Because we need Janelle to be able to play in the safety suite. She really threw that opportunity by playing in it with Kaser when she did not need to. The only possibility that we were throwing around some ideas of how can we keep Janelle and Kaser in this house. Obviously, if the producers want to throw in like a coup d'etat, that would be fantastic, but might be a little bit suspicious. So the only way that we can see is maybe if Memphis could win the safety suite. Is there a chance that he could keep Janelle safe?
If we're going on a scale here, a percentage scale, there's a less than 50% chance. But
Yeah.
he's the only one with any percent chance. So
Yeah, there's nobody else. There's no chance because the people.
unless, well, did David play in the last? Did
Yes.
David play last? Dang it, because I was like, he doesn't really know what he's doing. He might.
Right.
I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no. I think we've got
He might
who's
be
left
like,
to
oh, I
play.
picked someone to go home. Okay, Janelle, and then she's safe.
Yeah. We've got Tyler
Uh,
would have played, but he's out.
yes,
Nicole,
Memphis.
Danny, Memphis. And then Nicole A would have been. So I think there's only 3.
Yeah, yeah,
Nicole, Danny, Memphis.
They're the only
And
3, yeah.
so Memphis tells Tyler that he's going to throw the
Bailey?
safety suite.
Did we say Bailey? Can she play?
No,
Or she already played?
Bailey and Davon played, right?
Okay. I think Davon
Yeah.
definitely did, because remember she was like so fast.
Yeah. Davon definitely played. Anyways, but Memphis says that he's going to throw the safety suite, which from Memphis's gameplay, that's absolutely what he should do because he's pretty much going to have to show his cards if he wins. And if he does not pick Janelle or Kaser, then they're still in the disillusionment that he is not in an alliance. And so Memphis should not win the safety suite if he's playing smart.
But we know Tyler's mad at him for what he did to David. Is there any chance Memphis goes on the block?
Probably a very slim one because ultimately Janelle and Kaser are still the biggest threats. So I don't see them.
They're not even a
Tyler.
freaking threat. These people need to calm down.
Well, they are a threat because of what they've done in the past, but this season they haven't done anything yet.
They have not done anything.
They're just scared of their legacies.
Ugh. Like, really, you should be scared of the people in these big alliances. Those two only have each other, and they have no one else. It's so annoying.
Let's talk about the hypothetical of if Memphis were to win the safety suite and keeps Janelle safe. Would Tyler then choose 2 new people and then try to backdoor Kaser? Because if Kaser plays in the veto and wins, then he's going to be kept safe and you still have Janelle and Kaser in there together. Or does Tyler just put him on the block and let's try to get him out?
That's a lot because
it's a lot of hypotheticals.
Okay, it's a lot of hypotheticals. But we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down this path. So Tyler's targets Janelle and Kaser. Memphis wins safety suite, saves Janelle. That only leaves Kaser. Kaser can play in veto because he's on the block, and they put up, let's say, Kevin as a pawn. Okay, I think that sounds more likely than him not putting him up, only because if he doesn't put him up, and let's say Tyler wins veto, his target is Kaser, and then he has to put 2 people up at this point instead of Kaser, so Kevin and David, let's say.
Yeah.
Then take one of them down, and the HOH winning veto and using it is that's a lot of blood on his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that no matter what, we're going to see at least one of them go on the block unless, some miracle happens and Memphis does save them. If not, they're both going to be there. But
does Memphis go on the block next to Kaser if Janelle is
if either one of them comes off? Does he take Memphis the shot and put Memphis up? I don't think so. I think it would be stupid for him to do that. I think he throws somebody easy up like Kevin,
David, pawn.
Yeah,
just to ensure he definitely gets what he wants.
Yeah, for sure.
So today, the safety nom this is all going to happen today. So we're going to see safety suite will happen today. After that, noms will happen. So we'll have a loaded show for you guys tomorrow. That brings us to our tweet of the day.
Tweet.
Which comes from our friend James Ryan, at James Ryan on Twitter, RHINE. And he says, America's choice to send murder hornets into the HOH room? Fingers crossed. Hashtag BB22.
Yes, and so we all know James was in the Sovereign 6 Alliance with Kaser and Janelle, so he's just trying to look out for his old castmates, and we need something to happen.
Yeah, so if anyone has any spare murder hornets or CBS gives us an option, sometimes we get to vote on things, definitely be sure to choose that option for the people that view our show and also stand Janelle, because if you don't stand Janelle and Kaser, then bye.
What are you even doing?
Yeah.
I just feel
Are
like
you
this.
even a fan?
Yeah, I just feel like this is so hard because it feels like the end of an era. Like I never thought we would get to see Janelle and Kaysar play again. I mean, possibly Janelle, but getting them on the same season, like this is just so great as a fan. And it feels like the end of an era. One of them is probably going to be voted out this week, and we're not going to get to see them play together again. And this is just so sad.
It is sad. That's why we're having Jaysar's funeral today. For those that are just joining, we're in black today because this is a funeral. So
Yes.
yeah, it's a sad day in the Big Brother house. Janelle and Kaysar are sad as well.
We've done this before.
I know.
It's inevitable. No one wants us to play this game together, and that's okay.
No one in the game, Janelle. Everyone in America wants you to play the game together.
Yes. Oh, it's so heartbreaking.
No,
Yeah.
even though we joke about it, we really are sad. So I don't know. We're just hoping for some sort of miracle to happen this week
Yeah.
in the Big Brother house. But
Some
if
miracle.
it doesn't, we know that there's going to be some great entertainment going down. And
Yes, no matter what, we just need them to go down with a fight, which they will. They are not going to go out quietly, that's for sure. We're going to get some good entertainment on the feeds this week, and ultimately, that's what we're here for.
all
Literally.
right, guys. So thanks everyone who joined us live today. And popped in questions of topics for us. Also, so for those of you who are not watching live and are watching this afternoon or what have you, please drop us a comment and definitely hit us with a thumbs up and subscribe to the Russell Hantz Show so that way you're getting notifications as we go live every day. Just as a reminder, we know you're all busy, so every day at lunchtime here in Texas or in Central Time, we are live. So hit subscribe, hit us with a thumbs up, drop us with some comments, share with your friends, and be sure to check out our Twitter and Instagram at reality underscore TRHS, REALITEA _TRHS, where we have some fun things happening there too. We interviewed Kat Dunn from last season. So that video is linked on our Instagram. So be sure to give us a follow, check that out. And we are retweeting all of the fun things that are going on in the Twitterverse. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop for everything happening on Twitter with Big Brother 22, then be sure to check out our Twitter. Like, subscribe, and comment, and we will see you guys tomorrow at 12 o'clock with what happened on Safety Suite and where we're at with noms. Bye, guys. Cheers.